So if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, it's do better_fitness, and that's for my work one, and our car one is watch_German_cars.
Formerly known as Twitter, now called X. We are called Benz and Beyond. For Facebook, we have three groups. One is called Watch German Cars, just like our Instagram page. The other one is the world of electric vehicles with tips and tricks plus maintenance. And the last one is Mercedes-Benz fans with videos and repairs and how we can help people with reviews. Okay, so our referral code for Instavolt charging, this will get you £5 off your charge, is small e, big Q, big P, big Q, and small p. So today we're going to be talking about the Ford Explorer, and this particular one is going to be the extended range all-wheel drive. So it's got an 82 kilowatt hour pack, 79 is usable. Okay, let's talk about what range they tell you can get and what you can actually get. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the WLTP range. So the minimum trim model can get 352 miles, and the maximum trim can get 325 miles. Okay, so in range mode, if you did not exceed 120 kilometers per hour in perfect conditions, you would be able to get 223 miles. And the WLTP say in basic trim, if you use the heating, 2 kilowatt hour, you were looking at 269 miles, and if you had a top trim level with the 2 kilowatt hour heating, you were looking at 253 miles. I like how those aren't that big of a difference between which if you have the top end or the bottom. I do like that. I honestly prefer if it's the same, but you know, better than nothing. Okay, so here you can see that's 4.5 miles to kilowatt hour, and with the top trim, they're getting 4.1 miles to kilowatt hour. That's pretty good. If you put heating on, it makes a really big difference. So you're gonna see a drop of 23% on the first one and 22% on the second one, and that drops you down to 253 miles just with the heating on, and that's from 325 miles. That's a big number. So just like everything, I'm gonna compare this to my EQC 400 because I actually really do love that one. I'm not a fan of these buttons. It's too haptic for me, and it just gets pressed. And then let's talk about the real world range. So, they're saying you're able to get 208 miles if you're using the heating and you did not exceed 75 miles per hour. So that works out to be 2.6 miles to a kilowatt hour. And in perfect conditions, you would be able to get 223 miles, and that's 2.8 miles. I wasn't able to get that. So when I drove it, I was honestly getting like 200 miles of range, and compared that to our EQC 400 where I get 220 to 225 on most of the time. It's not as good. So it's almost the same size battery pack. So I'm obviously going to opt to drive this EQC. But otherwise, this is still a pretty good car. Alright, let's start talking about the charging curve. So just like all EVs, it's going to charge faster more or less in the beginning of the pack. So once we get to 5%, we can get to 180 kilowatts. It's going to hold that until it gets to 10. Then it goes to 182, then 83, then 84, then 85. And it's going to peak itself out at 31% where it hits 189, which is the max charging speed for this vehicle. It does only hold that for 2%. So then once we get to 33%, it goes to 88, and then it goes to 187, 34%, and it just then goes to 186 at 35%. Once we get to 38%, it's going to go below 180 kilowatts, which is kind of unfortunate. It does stay above 150 until you get to 47%, and then once you get to 60%, you're only at 123 kilowatts. And then by 68%, it's 107. 71% it hits the 100. So honestly, most chargers are going to be faster than this now that you're going to come to, so I wouldn't honestly charge further than that. And then when we get to 80%, it's at 86 kilowatts, and then when we get to 88%, it's 73 kilowatts. At 90, we are at 69, and then we're going to drop down till we get to 97% at 47 kilowatts, and then by 100 we're at 29 kilowatts. So hopefully this video has helped you guys. If it has, please like and subscribe. If you too have a question, let me know and I will do my best to make you a video. If you guys want a long-term test of this, we have one in the fleet, so let me know and I can do that. I wouldn't buy it with my own money, but it is a nice vehicle. Honestly, it's got a good size, it's comfortable, it's fast enough, I guess, for like a daily, and it does fit decent amount of stuff. But I prefer the Mercedes. I think I'm just gonna prefer the Mercedes over most things because that is what I'm used to, and I just liked a little bit more luxury than this thing offers. All right, I will see you guys next Wednesday. Please like and subscribe. See you guys later. Bye.